Hi, I'm Kevin Willett, and this is the Sacred and Profane. I have something of a confession to make. Since I was a kid, I've always enjoyed watching big, sweaty men roll around in their underwear. And by that I mean, I like to watch professional wrestling. It's a hormone-driven soap opera with larger-than-life superheroes, and they come out with a microphone in front of thousands of people and get to say a lot of impressive and grandiose types of things. Some guys you want to cheer for, and some you want to boo. I used to love it as a kid, until one day someone pulled back that magic curtain, and I had the chance to see how things really worked. I got to see the dirty underbelly of the business, the dark and perverse lifestyles of the men I considered to be heroes, the backstabbing, the deception, used to sell tickets and ultimately move forward in that profession. And once that curtain gets pulled back, you come to realize that these hulking superstars are nothing more than a bunch of sweaty guys rolling around in their underwear. American politics has a magic curtain of its own. Behind it, a shadowy underworld, where our elected leaders use every trick in the book to try and deceive the American public into believing that they are somehow superheroes. You might ask yourself, what book? There's no book of tricks. And that's because the first rule of this book is that you do not talk about this book. But I'm going to break the rules in an attempt to peel back that magic curtain and show you how our president used a political sleight of hand to help win him the election. Now, I'm not here to argue ideology. I've been around politics for more than a decade. I've covered elections, bitter and muddy campaigns, even got my own hands dirty a few times. And I know you won't get all the information you need to make informed and educated decisions in the voting booth from the daily paper or the nightly news. Now, there's nothing wrong with believing in President Obama's policies if that's what you believe. There's nothing wrong with believing he's a fine and special person if that's what you believe. Even if we don't all agree on the best road to get there, we all have the same goal in mind: a better future. I'm here to argue tactics, strategy. I'm here to show you how Obama used 3 basic principles to build a cult-like following and thus win the presidency. You're going to hear how presenting a vague message, emphasizing aesthetics over intellect, and creating an us versus them dynamic work to elevate this unlikely candidate. I just mentioned the book, which is sort of like a book of political psychology and magic tricks. It's by an author who's become something of a modern-day Machiavelli, and as a matter of fact, Robert Greene cites Machiavelli in his book pretty often. It's called The 48 Laws of Power, and it lays out in very amoral terms the path to take to win at the highest levels. And I will almost guarantee you that our president has read this book because he follows many of these laws to a T. But even if he hasn't, even if our president just sort of figured it all out on his own, the similarities are striking. Let us flip to Law 27. Play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following, or the science of charlatanism. For those who don't know, a charlatan is also known as a swindler. People have an overwhelming desire to believe in something, become the focal point of such desire by offering them a cause, a new faith to follow. Keep your words vague, but full of promise. Emphasize enthusiasm over rationality. In the absence of organized religion, your belief system will bring untold power. Now here's step 1. Keep it vague, keep it simple. Attract attention through words which are hazy and deceptive. Your speeches, conversations, and interviews should include 2 elements: the promise of something transformative and total vagueness. Vague, hazy, transformative. What did these concepts mean to Barack Obama? I'm sure you've seen it on at least one bumper sticker or another. Hope and change. If nothing else, candidate Obama promised these 2 things: hope and change. So what is hope? How is it different from optimism? Let's think about it. Optimism is a conclusion drawn after weighing evidence, a rational expectation of what is to come based on information. What's hope based on? I think that's probably different for each of us. Hope is much more spiritual. In August of 2008, Obama's own party members came out to criticize his lack of a real message. From the San Francisco Chronicle, Governor Ted Strickland of Ohio: "It's fine to tell people about hope and change, but you have to have plenty of concrete, pragmatic ideas that bring hope and change to life. Or Phil Bredesen, Democrat governor of Tennessee, as quoted in the New York Times. Instead of giving big speeches at big stadiums, he needs to give straight-up 10-word answers to people at Walmart about how he would improve their lives. In other words, you can't live in hope, you can't eat it, and you certainly can't use it to shield yourself from bullets. I am the Mecca of Manhood, Kevin Willett, and this is The Sacred and Profane.